Good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome on in. My name is Tracy Campbell here at My Sweet Home Living. Welcome. So glad you're here. I have a fun and super easy primitive style fall scarecrow project for you today. I know you're going to love it. And what's even better is it's probably using some things that you can gather around your home. How about that? Nothing gets easier than using what you already have. And I'll give you some tips and tricks on what you can substitute along the way if you don't have exactly what I'm using today. So come on in here if you love country style, primitive, rustic, vintage style decorating and crafting. I'm your gal. Come on in. My name is Tracy Campbell. Welcome. Good morning, Miss Regine. Good morning, Miss Tanya. How are you, Miss Sharon, Miss Phyllis? Well, listen, you guys, if you missed last week's episode, we created a little primitive cornmeal sack, if you will, using a gift bag that I had laying around the house. And then we created some faux cornbread muffins. How cute are those? We just jazzed it up with a little Sweet Annie, a strip of fabric, and a little fabric tag that says cornbread muffins. They look so cute paired together with a vintage kitchen scale or a vintage or breadboard, I should say, not cornboard. I'm thinking cornhole boards. If you're in the South, you know what cornhole is. But I was thinking a breadboard. This looks really cute, staged with a breadboard and a vintage kitchen scale. If you missed it, you can find the replay over on my page or on my YouTube channel. Either one, it's there for you. So excited y'all are here. Good morning, Miss Deanie. How are you? Listen, today's project is going to be so fun, and I'm ready for fall. Although I still want to have a few more days of summer life. I want fall weather, if that makes sense. Can I have summer life but fall weather? Does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying? No school, no like busy, sports schedules or things like that. Just some relaxation. Only have it in the fall. Anyway, you guys, so I am dressed for summer. I have shorts on, but my top half, I'm fall. So I'm in true limbo mode. How many of you are with me? I know I'm not the only one. Can't be. Good morning, Miss Susan. How are you? So, you guys, I told you we're going to be creating a super cute little country scarecrow using some items that I have scrapped up from around the house, and probably you can do the same. So, I have these little 1x2s. I think we use these to create some little garden trellises for our little container gardens. And of course I have some scrap pieces. So these little pieces have been laying around for quite some time. Waiting for me to do something with or to pitch them one or the other. But you can't pitch something that's usable. So that's why it has been collecting dust. Oops, sorry about that. Collecting dust and cobwebs in my garage until today. So I'm just giving it a quick wipe down. We're going to turn this scrap piece of wood into a super cute little primitive scarecrow. Can you believe that? All I did, I just chopped it down a little bit, but guess what? If you don't have this, you can use a paint stick, like one of the thick paint sticks I would use, or you can get some of the little wood pieces. I know Dollar Tree has some wood pieces that would probably work similar to this same idea. So use what you have. I know, Miss Elizabeth, I'm not quite ready for summer to end, but I'm ready for fall weather. Good morning, Miss Roxanne. How are you, sweet lady? I hope you're doing well. First time to see me on live. Kathy, welcome. So glad you're here. Big warm welcome to you. Hope you'll be back for lots more crafting and DIY ideas, you guys. Okay, so this is going to be probably like a knob hanger or a peg hanger. I don't know what you want to call it. Something that you can hang from a knob or a peg. We're going to do that today. So real quick, before we get any farther, at the top, I need to drill a hole through the top to where I can put in my little wire hanger. That way when I start embellishing this little scarecrow later, I'll have my little hole already drilled so that we can, so we won't cover it up. So real quick, I'm just going to drill a hole. Almost there. I don't want to drill a hole through my table. There we go. It was the same width as the length of my drill bit. How about that? Okay, and what that will do, that will allow me to run a little piece of wire right through that, and that will create my little hanger at the top. Easy peasy, right? And you don't have to do that. You could totally glue it onto the back. Or you may choose to use this as a little mini shelf leaner, if you will, okay? Sort of like a porch leaner, but a little shelf leaner because it's so small and mini, right? Good morning, Miss Deborah. How are you? Miss Deborah from Splash of Paint. I believe you're right up after me, right, Miss Deborah, over in the Craft on the Clock group. This is a 45-minute segment that is cross-streaming over to the Craft on the Clock group where we have live crafting. You guys, a new crafter every 45 minutes all day long, Monday through Friday. So I would love for you to check it out if you haven't already. Amazing place to be. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give this a quick coat. Yes, we are. We're going to give this a quick coat of Mod Podge. I'm going to have to color separate this, if you will. The top half is going to be an off-white. The bottom half, I'm thinking is going to be like an like an earthy brown with a little bit of an orange tint to it. And that would serve like as his pants or his bottom to find inspiration for projects and decorating, and it's just so fun. You could definitely go down a rabbit hole and get lost over on Pinterest, but it's so fun to do. Okay. Before this gets dry, but it does need to be a little bit tacky, I'm going to apply a coat of just some basic off-white chalk paint. And that over top of that Mod Podge, and that'll give us a little bit of a crackle, hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's kind of like baking or making meringue or anything like that. Sometimes it kind of depends on the weather, how it turns out. Oh my goodness, I'm freezing on both pages. That's not good. That's not good. Hopefully we're okay. On my end, it looks okay. So I'm going to keep going, and hopefully it'll carry over eventually. All right. Gonna put a white coat on top of that Mod Podge, and then we'll set some heat to it and watch it crackle, hopefully. Yeah, that's so, gosh dog it. Hold on just a second, and let me see if I can. Okay. I switched this. Hopefully you guys, this will work. Switch this back. Hopefully we'll be good from this point forward. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Hey, Miss Terry. Good morning. I know, 2:32, 2:45 this early in the morning is amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Miss Penny is still freezing. Hopefully we should be good now. I have connected to Wi-Fi. So hopefully that'll work. Okay, good, Miss Jennifer. Okay, good. So that worked. All right, so we're getting a little bit of crackle. So we're doing good. Let's just get this a real quick dry, and then we'll keep going. Really, I'm only concerned about the front getting a good crackle. So once we get the rest of that dry, really, we can go on and move with this paint. And it'll come together really quick. This will probably be the longest steps, just waiting to get this paint dry real quick. And I'm not going to make it dry completely. Just get it to where it's manageable, and then we'll move forward. This chalk paint dries pretty quick, honestly. So, let me see how y'all are. We're better now. Good morning, Miss Mara. Good morning. Hey, Miss Calvin and Donna. Miss Rhonda, sorry. Those double names, you know, those husband and wives that share their profile names. Sometimes it gets me. I automatically look at the first name and I think, oh, it just doesn't dawn on me until after it rolls out of my mouth, and I'm thinking, I know better than that. Okay, now for the bottom half, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to Mod Podge the bottom so that we get a crackle. Whoops, I'm dripping. I forgot to lay down my base of parchment paper, wax paper, just something to give me a little bit of a table cover here, but that's all right. This table is my designated craft table, so if it gets paint on it, whatever, it's fine. No harm done. All right, let's see. I don't know if anybody around or across the country, for that matter, is having fall weather yet. But if so, I want you to let me know. I want to know if anybody has fall weather yet. I'm sure maybe up north. I don't know, maybe Canada. Miss Pat, do you have any fall weather yet? Miss Pat from Unique. She is near Quebec. I believe that's right, Miss Pat. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let us know if you've got any fall weather up here. Good morning, Miss Misty. How are you? Good morning. Long time since I've been able to see us live. Well, Miss Susan, I'm so sorry. I know sometimes my schedule, sometimes I'm live in the midday. It's usually morning or midday, usually. But we went for an early morning today. It's been a long time since I've been live early. But, you know, you can catch different people at different times. So I kind of like to change it up a little bit. Okay, I'm not going to need white for this. So we're going to make these, the bottom half, his pants. You know what? I think I'm going to use this. What color is this? Let's see. I've already forgotten. Hazelnut. It's just like a, I don't know if you can even see that. It's a little bit of an light brown. I'm going to have to pour it out on my paper plate though. Let's pour some of this out. And that'll serve as, it's really thick. That will serve, that brush, this sponge brush is a little stiff, but I think we can get away with it. We're going to go right over that. This is a good earthy primitive color. You know those primitive colors, they kind of remind me of like those historical colors, paint swatches that you can get at like your home improvement stores. You know, they'll tell you like, this is like a color shade that is, you know, based on like historical homes or things like that. This color kind of reminds me of that. It's kind of like it's a cross between a beige and like a honey, like a Dijon color, maybe. But I like that. I don't know. I don't know I mean, we can distress the edges and give it a little bit of definition if it doesn't come out as dark as I want it to. I don't know. We'll see. You never know how it's going to look until you get everything put together. Had oh gosh, I'm so glad you said that. I overslept this morning, you guys. If you're in Craft Around the Clock group this morning, poor Miss Pat, I completely slept through my alarm this morning. We had storms pretty much all night long. And I didn't get good in sleep until probably around 3:30 or maybe even 4 o'clock. So by the time I got good and sound asleep, my alarm was just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing, and I slept right through it. I woke up a few minutes into Miss Teresa. She was on at 6:45. I woke up a few minutes after she started, and she was our second presenter this morning. You guys, I hardly ever do that. And of course, you know, when you oversleep and you wake up in like a panic, right? Whew, I was like, oh my gosh. So I completely overslept, and I apologize if you guys were waiting on me this morning. I so apologize. Just completely overslept. So not like me. Teresa, you have fall weather in Wisconsin. Storms, pouring rain, and 61. Wow. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the perfect day to snuggle up with a blanket and light a candle, have some lights, some little mini lights on, and just enjoy crafting all day long. Good morning, Miss Gina. How are you? Good morning, Miss Annabelle, Miss Sheila. I'm so glad y'all are here this morning. We're giving this a quick dry because I am going to have to lay this down at this point. So all this is, you guys, it's a scrap piece of wood. And you can see all that we've done to it is given it a two-tone color treatment here. We're crackling it, and you know what? I'm getting a little bit of like a bubbling action, which is totally not planned, so I don't know how that's happening. You never know what these wood pieces are treated with, so the paint can sometimes react a little bit differently. I just wanted it to look a little scrappy, a little grungy, a little like a farm scarecrow. All right, so you could use a paint stick for this idea. You could use all kinds of things for this, you guys. I've got a little bundle or a little bunch of paint right there. I'm just going to kind of, so it doesn't get on me or the table, I'm just going to kind of soft brush that. Okay. Now we got good crackle at the top. We did not get good crackle at the bottom. That's okay. That's all right. We'll grunge it up a little bit with some other things. Okay. Now, the fun part. Let's start embellishing this little guy. Let's start with the top. Let's start with his hat, his head, and then we'll work our way down. We are going to add some fun, primitive elements. Some homespun, a little candlelight, a little pip berries, a little bit of Sweet Annie. You know, all the primitive things. It's 65 there today, Miss Pat. Okay. Well, I know we're going to be in the 80s here today, but then I think the next 2 days we're going to have some 70s, which is giving us those fall feels already, which I'm good for, but then it's going to be back up to like upper 80s by the weekend. But hey, you know, we'll take what we can get. We will take what we can get. All right, I'm just looking at my stash here. This is a craft that you can truly use what you have. You could use raffia, however you choose to say it. I say raffia. You could use some Excelsior. For that matter, you could use any kind of dried anything that you can find, honestly. So this is going to be his top, his head, right? So I'm just trying to put together some scrap bundles. And I forgot my scissors. Rat-saroni. Okay, we can, oh, that worked out perfect. I just have a strip of coffee stained muslin. All I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put this at the top, I think. And make this look like his hat. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so let's get gluing. This is going to come together really easily, and you can personalize it to your own colors. Use what you have and make it truly yours. No two scarecrows are the same, you guys, just like snowflakes, right? Good morning, Miss Denise. I'm so sorry, my screen went dark whenever I had to switch over to my Wi-Fi, and it's like, I'm so hard to see. Good morning, Miss Lisa. How are you? Southeast Kentucky. Miss Darlene, you might be close to me. No, you're in the east, you said. I'm northwest. Over in the other half of the state. So happy to have you here. All right, so I've just kind of bunched that together. That's going to be his top half. And my paint wasn't quite dry. Boo-boo. We made a boo-boo. Let's wipe this up. Because you know what? I can see this getting on my shirt. And we don't want that. Not that white chalk paint. No way, Jose. Okay. I got this little piece of Excelsior that stuck to me there. Okay. Now let's move on and let's make him a little nose. Now I did a little scarecrow last fall with a like a cardboard drink container mix. And I cannot believe I forgot to bring my scissors. Well, this is truly going to be a scrappy project you can use with minimal props. We're going to make him a little nose, and I'm going sort of with the same little design that I created last fall with a little scarecrow. I made his nose out of cardboard as well, but I kind of left it at a little bit of an angle, and thought it was kind of cute. So who loves using scraps or trash or repurposing things that you have around the house for crafts? If you want to get crafty, there's always a way to do it without spending very much. Just use what you have. I mean, you got to have a few basic supplies, but other than that, you can really create lots of things if you think outside of the box, which is good for your mind. It is. It's good to get your mind off of things and to take a breather. All right, so all I've done, I've cut this little piece of cardboard. I didn't cut it, I tore it because I forgot my scissors today. And I'm just going to, I think it's going to go right about there. I am going to paint it orange though. Now, I don't know, it's not necessarily a carrot nose, But I don't know, I think the orange is going to tie in really cute with our fall colors that we're going to put on him. So that's kind of why. And that's the same color I put on my little Scarecrow can. I made a Scarecrow can. I don't know if anybody remembers that, or we have so many new friends, they may not have even seen it from last year. I need to repost that. That was so cute. Using a drink, like a lemonade drink mix container. And let's give that a quick try. And turned it into a little Scarecrow tree topper. It was adorable, and it had a little orange wonky little nose. Good morning, Miss Mary. How are you? Good morning, Miss Barb. Hopefully my comments are working. They seem to be kind of hiding from me a little bit. This is going to be easy. And then all we're going to do for his nose is give him, or not his nose, his eyes. We're just going to use a little bit of a Sharpie. Or you could use a little bit of dab of black paint. But I find that I have a little bit more control when I use a Sharpie. So that's what I'm going to use. But you feel free to use whatever works best for you. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see. Sharpie is in my little paint cup. All right. Let's just make 2 simple little eyes. And I'll give you a close-up here in just a second. Everything is going to be smaller scale the smaller your piece is, right? That's what we got so far. I don't know if I'm going to make a mouth for him yet. Okay, so now let's move on to the next step. We need some sort of like a scarf or something that mimics a shirt, right? So here are the color choices we have, you guys. We have a fun coffee stained carrot orange that we could use. Love that. And that coordinates like almost perfect with his nose. Or we have a deep red homespun check gingham. Sorry, my lighting is kind of wonky. Goodness, I don't know what that is. And that coordinates fine. And then we have the same kind of pattern, only in a black check. So you guys tell me what we think. Orange, red, or a black. And I'll hold them up so you can see them. Let's see here. I'll hold them up right on this board so you can get a real good look. Oh goodness, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning. All right, let me give you a close-up. There we go. That's what we have. You like number 1, Miss Pam? You like the orange? Miss Penny likes the orange with the hat. We probably will add some touches of orange to his hat too. Like the orange? Miss Leanne, orange. All right, let's go with it. We could always add a little bit of pattern mixing, that's what I should say. Sometimes pattern mixing is a good thing. I have got to wipe off a little bit of this paint that I keep sticking my hand into. Or maybe it's that Mod Podge right there. Either way, let's get that cleaned up real quick. Okay, so we're still going to add a little bit of a candlelight to him here in just a minute. And some pip berries, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this fabric strip. This fabric is from Hobby Lobby, by the way, and I just rip it into strips, soak it in some coffee and vanilla, and put it in the oven to dry at a real low temp. All I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just kind of crisscross wrap this a little bit, and to cover where those 2 paint colors join. Okay, and then give it a tie off to the side. Okay, so let me show you what I've done there. Crisscrossed it. All right, crisscrossed it and tied it over to the side. Okay, let me go ahead and, should I double knot it or not? And I'll do a loose knot. How about that? That way if we have to adjust anything, it won't be super tight. Okay. Now, we have to make a little pocket that is going to kind of hang right here to hold our candle, some Sweet Annie, and some little mini pumpkins. And some little mini sunflowers. these little mini sunflowers. I love these little things. These are actually paper flowers from Hobby Lobby. I get these little fall picks every year, and we're going to use these little sunflowers that you see right there in just a minute. Let's use some burlap and let's make a pocket. I'm going to have to grab my scissors, you guys. Gotta grab my scissors. Hang on, they're just right over here. Let me grab them because we have to cut this burlap. Definitely can't tear the burlap. Can't do that, can't do that. And my dog is right under my feet, you guys. Making it hard for me to get in and out of my chair. Of course, it's been storming all morning and all night, so he's been glued to my feet. He has a little bit of anxiety with storms. I don't know if you guys have fur babies that have anxiety with storms, but he wasn't that way. He wasn't always that way until he got a little bit older. And I don't know if, occasionally we may have to, take him to a dog sitter when we're off on vacation or something like that. So I don't know if it's something he picked up while he was away one time or if it's just something that came with age. I don't know, but he has crazy storm anxiety. But as long as he's close to me, he's fine. But if he sometimes is a little too close, I'm like, oh, I can't move, I can't breathe, can't go anywhere. As long as he's by my feet and he knows that I'm close, he's okay. But all right, so all I'm doing with this little patch of burlap, and I don't know if this is the right size or not, I'm just just cut a piece and we'll go from here. I want these little frayed edges, so I'm just picking apart the sides, okay? I want those little raveled edges, all right? Now, I have to make a little pocket. This is the little candle that we're going to use. I love these are timers. This one, its battery is getting a little bit low. The batteries last forever in these. And I get these from my friend Crystal at Little Village Primitives. You can go to her website, LVPrims, I think it is, .com. She has a Facebook page here. You guys, you can message her, reach out to her. Tell her you want some of her battery-operated taper timer candles. She'll get you hooked up. She's also usually one of our sellers in our Vintage and Thrifted Market Day. But she has some beautiful, beautiful things. So all I want to do here is kind of create like a little pocket with this burlap, okay? I don't know how I'm going to do it or what it's going to look like, but that's what we're going to do here. I think it's a little big. So let's see here. I do want the candle to show. I know that. That's kind of cute. Yeah, let's do that. All right, well, let's trim it down a little bit. Lay it on there and then trim it down to size. That might work for you as well. Depends on how big your piece of wood is, of course. You know, how big you need your pocket, right? And then what we'll do is we'll just secure that down with glue, hot glue. No rhyme or reason. You can make it any way you want. I just kind of wanted it to look like a little garden sack, grain sack, or something like that. You know, we're playing on the Scarecrow garden theme here, if you will. And I'm just going to I think I'm just going to kind of crisscross it like so, okay? Now, however, I am going to need, I got an idea. I need to secure that candle down a little bit. I know what we can do. We can use, here it is. I'm going to use a little bit of jute to kind of give it a little bit of a tie in the front, and that'll hold that candle down secure. All right, so let's glue down this burlap for a minute. I'm going to leave my candle there just so I can know. A little bit of a shorter candle would probably work best. Like a little 3-inch taper would probably be perfect for this. I do have a 3-inch taper, but it's not the right color. I really wanted to play on this black and orange theme. So my 4-inch tapers are brown, and I felt like that was going to blend, or my 3-inch tapers rather, are brown, and I was afraid that that would blend in a little too much with the colors of burlap and the paint that I have on here. So I really wanted to play on that black. So I'm just using a little bit of this piece of scrap cardboard to kind of press that burlap down in to that hot glue. And that'll keep it pretty good once it dries. Okay, I think what we will do now, I'm going to take the bottom half of this burlap and fold it up. And what that will do is that will truly make a little bottom to our pocket. And that way it will indeed hold the candle in place in that pocket. And I'll give you a close-up view here in just a second. And hopefully it works. Let's let it dry first. It's not going to work if it doesn't have a chance to dry, that's for sure. Okay, so here's what I'm going to have to put a little bit of hot glue on top of it too, I think, since it's got double thickness there. So you can see I folded up that bottom edge, secured it with some hot glue, and then we'll fold it over sort of like a burrito, you guys. Sort of like a burrito. And we're going to press that down really good. And you might want to keep it pressed for a second to really get that hot glue in there. Okay, now once we get this little pocket fixed, we're going to fill it with some dried sweet Annie, some pip berries, and some little sunflowers to really dress it up. Okay, let me put this candle in here and see. Yep, that's going to work good. Now, I want this pocket to be a little bit loose because we're going to fill it. So I don't want it super tight. So all I'm going to do is take that remaining over here on this side and wrap it over and secure it on the opposite side, and we'll be good. I did have to put my candle in there just to make sure that the placement is right. Okay. And let's press that down really good. And if you have some glue that's visible, don't worry, you can hide it with a little bit of the dried sunflowers that we're going to be using here in a minute. Or the sweet Annie. You've got multiple things that you can use to hide the glue if it shows. But you definitely want to get it on there. That burlap, it's kind of hard to stick it down. Good morning, Miss Kim. How are you from Sugar in the South? It's going to be so cute, Miss Janie. It's going to be so cute. Okay. Let me pull my glue strings out. So, I'm going to give you a close-up of the pocket. That's what we have right now. Okay. Looks a little big, but we're going to fill it up. We've got the little prim candle in there. Okay. Whoops. We're going to tie that down in a minute so that it stays put, okay? Now, let's fill it up. I'm going to have to get me a new bundle of dried sweet Annie. I about used this down. Well, we're going to fill it up with some dried sweet Annie. You guys, pretty soon, you have sellers that will be restocking their dried sweet Annie. I usually get mine from Etsy. Sometimes you can find some local sellers that have this, but it's just about harvest time for sweet Annie. So you will start seeing more that is available to purchase online as the fall and winter goes on. Okay, I've had lots of you message me, where do you get it? And really it's just whoever you can find that will sell you some, but if you're not growing it. But after they harvest it in the fall, they'll have to allow it time to dry, of course, but that's usually the best time to get it is late fall, early winter. Now let's see, this little bundle may be a little big. Let's see if we can't wrap it up and get it in there. I may have to kind of wrap the stem so it doesn't kind of snag. It wants to grab on this burlap. There we go. Just fuss with it until you get it. That's what we're doing. Okay, that's what we have so far. Is that enough? I don't know. We'll see. Now let's stick that candle back down in there. Yeah, I broke off a little piece. Let's stick one more piece on the side, the other. just tear it off, and this stuff smells so good. It smells so good. All right, you get the idea. You can fuss with it and get it the way you want to, right? Now, I have these little paper sunflowers that I think would look so cute added to him. So let's cut a few of those off, and we'll see if we can't glue those to the little pouch in some way. Actually, we might have to cut these. I don't know, we might be able to stick them right in the burlap. That's a thought. Okay. Now, these are a little bright for me, so probably what I will do after I'm off camera, I will take my coffee grunge mix, which is just some coffee, some cinnamon and vanilla in it, and I will basically add a little bit of coating to that yellow rim of those flowers. And what that will do is it will kind of darken it and grunge it a little bit and make it more fitting for my color scheme, okay? So, and all that coffee grunge is, it's a cup of hot water, a half a cup of instant coffee, and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of vanilla. I think I'm going to have to cut the back off those sunflowers. They're just wanting to stick out way too much. Yeah, let's do that. I think that'll work better. Glue stick. Do I have a glue stick? I do not. I do not. All right. Just a little bit of glue on the back of that. Press it down on that burlap really good. And then I have some little mini pumpkins. You can get these probably, you know, from the floral section. I made these out of Crayola Model Magic. You all know that I love using that stuff to create little faux foods. I just created some little mini pumpkins out of it. And look, see the bottom, I didn't paint the bottom because I was letting the top dry, but I just kind of want to stuff these, those down in there. So what I can do, honestly, I think this is a little stem for my Sweet Annie. I think this clay is still soft enough. I can poke that little stem right up in there. Get a little bit of glue on that stem. And then stick that right up in the center of that. And you just created a little floral pick, a little pumpkin pick. And I can stick that right down in there. Now, I need to kind of angle it so that the white, the bottom of my pumpkin doesn't show until I paint it later. Okay. Is that not looking so cute? I don't know why my lighting looks so dark up close to my phone. It doesn't usually do that, but I think when I adjusted my Wi-Fi earlier, it kind of messed with it. It doesn't look the same. Okay, let's do the same. Here's another little stem of the Sweet Annie. All I'm going to do is stick that pumpkin right on that stem. You can find these little you can find some similar mini pumpkins probably at any craft supply store. I still haven't pulled out like all of my fall decorations yet, so I don't have all of mine out and available yet, so I'm kind of improvising with what I have at my fingertips right now. I'm going to mix together a little sunflower right up there with that. Okay, that's what we have so far. That little sunflower, I need to kind of tuck that together. Smush them together a little bit. All right, now, probably what we need to do is we need to tie this a little bit, I think. Actually, let's add this rusty star real quick. Can I get a little bit of glue out of here? All I need, just a tiny little bit on this star. There we go. I think that little rusty color. Let's put it, you know, it's just about getting it the way it looks right to you, you guys. Okay. Now this piece of Sweet Annie is kind of like sticking out of nowhere. Let me get this situated and then I'll show you guys what we got so far. Hot glue on my finger. All right, that's what we have so far. Is that not cute? And then to add a little wire hanger at the top, let's add a little wire hanger at the top. Remember that little hole that we drilled at the top when we started? If you weren't with us when we started, all I did was drill a little hole from the side. I'll show you here in just about 2 seconds. Oh, we gotta add some pip berries, you guys. I about forgot. Where'd our pip berries go? They were hiding. We gotta add a couple of those. And this is that same burnt orange color that we have going on and on the nose and in the pumpkins and the little fabric. Cut off a few little stems. Ooh, that scared me. We're almost done. We're almost out of time. I'm just going to kind of twist these just a little bit. And we're going to stick those in there too. Come on, work with me here. Oh, this is so cute. And I think what I'll do, instead of tying this, I think what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of that Excelsior and stuff it down in that pocket and kind of fill it up. I need to add some orange to his hat. Let's add a little, that sunflower's a little big. I'm going to have to find something to embellish his hat with, maybe a few pip berries. Where'd the wire go? Where'd the wire go? I thought I already cut me a piece. Am I losing my mind here? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just got it ready to cut. Okay, so on the side here, well, I have paint in it. Let me dig that out real quick. We have another creator coming up in 2 minutes. We have live crafting all day long for you guys today in the Craft on the Clock group, every day this week, you guys. So, and if you step away for a little while, want to come back, want to catch some replays, or even if overnight you want to come back and watch some of the replays, you just go to the Craft Round, with an R, Craft Round the Clock group, and check out the featured section. And all of today's replays will be available there in that featured section for you. Okay, so you can see, possibly, I drilled a little hole right there and came all the way through the other side. That's where I'm going to put this through and create the little hanger. Now, let me just say, how cute would this be if you were to create some mini versions of these? If you have a fall tree and use these as little ornaments. Now, I will secure this with some glue and twist it, but I want you to kind of see the idea here. I'm going to double that wire. My wire is a little flimsy, so there we go. There's my little hanger. You could create some little ornaments out of this, right? Now, I'm not sure that I like the color that I made his bottom half, so I might go back and add some darker color to that to kind of give it a little bit of separation between those two colors. But now, how cute is that? You could create some little mini ones of these. I need to embellish him, his little hat, a little bit more with something orange, but I think that's so cute. And maybe give him a little quirky little smile. I don't know. But, and this is cute. You could hang it on a cabinet knob, or one of those peg shelves would look absolutely adorable. So thank you all so much for joining me. I'll stage him up, make him look super cute for you guys, take a photo, and share that with you here on my page and over on my Telegram channel. Stay tuned. Head over to the Craft on the Clock. We got another amazing creator coming up next. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon.